Next up is Yakuza 2, and I do have Yakuza 1 floating around somewhere. Probably good to talk about them both. But since I can't find Yakuza 1, I'll just talk about this game. You know, it's funny. This is a series that I fell in love with on the PS3 with Yakuza 3 and 4, and I wanted to go back and kind of see where the story originated. In both Yakuza 1 and Yakuza 2, I mean, Yakuza 1 was really different because I think the guy who played... I don't want to get this wrong, but I think the guy who played Kazuma Kiryu is Ray Liotta from Goodfellas, and it was all translated into English, and it was so off-putting. Yakuza 2 had Japanese voice acting, but I think coming from Yakuza 3 and 4, where you had more of that open world feel, this just... I don't know. I just found it very hard to go backwards in terms of visuals and mechanics. But perhaps one day I will get back to these games, and I think there's an HD remix of 1 and 2 out in Japan. It would be cool if they localized that. Then maybe, you know, these games would be more interesting. Zone of the Enders. This was a recommendation from a YouTuber. I think it was either Mark from Classic Game Room or someone else was talking about this game, and they recommended it to their viewers, and I went out and I bought it. I played through the tutorial, and that was about it. It was a time issue, but really nice looking game for the time. Mana Khemia, the first game for, this is the Alchemists of Aleria, and I actually kind of like this one. This was, I felt like, a light-hearted crafting type of game. Search and collect and craft, and it had sort of a Harry Potter kind of element where you're at this school learning how to be a sorceress or an alchemist or something. I mean, it's not a deeply sustaining narrative, but you know, it was okay, and I played it for a while and enjoyed it. So, you know, it's not I wouldn't put it high on the list of must-play JRPGs, but if you're looking for some lighthearted fare, it was pretty good. And because of that, I picked up Mana Khemia 2, which, as you can see, I have not played, and based on my sort of backlog and my time restrictions, I'm not sure if I will get to this anytime soon. Final Fantasy X. I don't know if this is going to be a sacrilegious statement to some or not, but I just couldn't get into this. I'm one of those Final Fantasy players who love the games, obviously, on the original NES, but on the SNES and on the PlayStation, particularly 7 and 9, which I spent, you know, most of my time with, and 7 was really the highlight for me, and then after that, I could really never get back into the series. I tried 10, tried 12, tried 13, and these games just don't grip me the way the SNES and PlayStation games do, so I don't know if I'll ever get back to this, but tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I should press on. I've played about 2 or 3 hours. Dot Hack Infection. I know that this series is pretty rare, and it's different. You know, it's sort of a kind of cyber world RPG, and I believe in this one you start out like logged onto your computer, and you have to go into the digital realm, and kind of more of an action RPG if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I played it, haven't really gone back to it, but it was a clever concept, and I think it was a fairly early game, 2002, so not bad, but if you played through the whole series, let me know what you think. Alright, next up is Kingdom Hearts. And, you know, I remember when this game came out. Oh, excuse me, this is Kingdom Hearts 2, which I haven't played. probably should. Kingdom Hearts 1 I've played. And like I said, I remember when this came out, and it was just such a unique and different idea. Great. I like the art style in here. I thought it was a nice sort of midway point between classic Disney and classic Square Enix. Good action RPG system. I didn't finish it, and obviously I haven't played 2, and I also got the remix. I don't even know what the remix is, but it's a series that I know a lot of people love, and it's a series that I would like to get back into at some point. Maybe I'll try the HD versions of it, but based on 1, I'm obviously behind the times. So many of them have come out, but I kind of liked the direction that this series took. Street Fighter Alpha Anthology. Love the Street Fighter Alpha games, particularly Alpha 2 and Alpha 2 Gold, and this is just a great way to play them. Again, playing it with the X-Arcade dual joystick, and just a tremendous amount of fun. Highly recommend this if you like the Alpha series and you find this floating around out there. Great port of the arcade games. Final Fantasy X2. I couldn't even remember that I owned this. Obviously didn't finish X, and didn't play this one at all. King of Fighters 2006. A 3D vision for King of Fighters. King of Fighters to me is always going to be a 2D game, but this really wasn't a bad attempt. I mean, I guess the problem with it was it seemed to me like the control system was kind of trying to distance itself from Virtua Fighter and Tekken, and as a result it feels a little bit contrived. I can't say that I love it, but it wasn't terrible, and I did have some fun with this one. Soulcalibur 2, one of my favorite 3D fighters of all time, and I thought it was just brilliant on the PlayStation 2. I loved every level, every character. This was truly a wonderful game, and I even thought it was better than 3. To me, this is a must-have fighter for the PS2. And finishing things up here, we have Sakura Wars. This is the So Long My Love. I guess this is the limited edition for the PS2, and I got this because I actually like the Sega Saturn SRPG Sakura Wars games, which obviously hard to understand, couldn't really get the dating simulator aspect of it down, but I just like the core gameplay of those games. But I haven't finished those games, and I haven't started this one. So if anyone's played this, let me know what you think. I know a lot of people really, really like this, and I do want to get to it at some point. Dawn of Mana. I got this one because I love the Secret of Mana on the SNES, and boy is this a departure and not a lot of fun, and at least the first bit of it kind of felt like a bargain basement title. Maybe I'm wrong, but I bought it on the title alone, and I think that was a mistake. And finishing things out, we have our Tonelico and our Tonelico 2. And I remember these games getting some press before they were released, and I was actually looking forward to them. I really just liked the simple 2D art style of both games, and I said, gosh, I have to get these, and I never did, and then finally hunted them down, but as you can see, they are still sealed, and I have our Tonelico 3 for the PS3, and I played a little bit of that. I don't know, I actually still want to play these games. I just have not found the time, and so many other games have sort of come ahead of them on my backlog. So if anyone's played these, let me know. I heard they were simple, lighthearted, kind of like Monokemia, I guess in that sense, even though I think the mechanics are fairly different here. But I like simple RPGs that you can just sit down and relax with. I think that's what these are, but let me know what you think if you've played it. Well, that's it. That's my PS2 collection. Again, I don't have, I don't have the most amazing collection in the world. That wasn't really the point of making this series of videos. I just wanted to share the collection with you guys, see what your thoughts are on these games, and certainly see if you recommend some of the games that I have not gotten to. So I thank you as always for watching Game Escape, and I will be back shortly with a new video.